Hello and Jay, we are Group 6 for Tutor 3 and our topic is Approach in Resolving Conflict at South China Seas with United Nations Law of the Sea Convention.
UNCLOS is United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. It is a comprehensive legal framework outlining the rights and obligations of the state related to the use of oceans and sea resources. It also is an international nautical law to settle disputes among countries on ocean-related issues, which contains 70 parts, 320 articles, and 9 annexes. It has been ratified by 168 parties, which includes 164 United Nations member states. The provisions of convention cover for 5 maritime zones. They are internal water, territory seas, contingent zone, exclusive economic zone, and the high sea. South China Sea, also called as Chinese Nanhai. It's surrounded by China, Taiwan, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Brunei, Indonesia, and Philippines. The entire South China Sea is not belong to any state. It was stand free. The role of UNCLOS conventions regulated the territory, rights, and sovereignty of the electoral state in South China Seas. In the same EEZ, the coastal states have a right of exploration, exploitations, and the freedom of navigation. After years, many states start to aware that their economic and security interests was be affected, so that many countries began to claim on the zones of South China Sea. Even the claimant state gradually set up their ships, ports, and arrange people on the South China Sea islands to express their claim. The issues of territory disputes are not resolved over decades. The tension between those claimant states will become frozen. Now I will proceed to the critics on the policy. Why the UNCLOS Convention cannot solve the dispute of South China Seas in many years. Here I will list out the 2 reasons. The first one is overlap exclusive economic zone of coastal states in the conventions. According to the convention, the states who share the same EEZ zone, they have to share and dispute the benefits and interests of the zone equally. But the terms can't really clearly delimit the benefits and interests to those coastal states with the same EEZ zone. So it causes the dispute and conflicts happen constantly. Many countries nowadays compete to claim the island and various zones in the South China Sea, especially over the Paracel and Spratly Islands, because both are the oil-rich zone. And the second reason is the UNCLOS conventions face the difficulties to enforce its provisions to those non-compliant parties, such as the real case China and Philippines dispute in 2013. In this case, the China violated the Philippines' sovereignty rights by interfering with Philippines' vessels, damaging the marine environment, and engaging in reclamation work on the Philippine EEZ. This case was brought to the Permanent Court of Arbitration at the Hague under UNCLOS conventions. Finally, the ruling is in the favor of Philippines, but the China state the ruling is null and void, and finally refused to accept it. That's all for me. I will pass to next presenter.
I'm Minjie. Now we're discussing the advantages and disadvantages of using the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea to resolve conflicts in the South China Sea. UNCLOS provides a clear legal framework for establishing maritime boundaries, managing marine resources, and resolving disputes related to these issues. This legal clarity can be particularly important in a highly contested region like the South China Sea, which is prone to multiple overlapping claims. UNCLOS can provide a clear legal basis for resolving these disputes and promoting cooperation among countries in the region. Furthermore, UNCLOS is a multilateral treaty, which means that disputes can be resolved through a multilateral framework, increasing the chance of a long-term resolution to the conflict. The involvement of multiple countries can also help to ensure that any agreements reached are more widely accepted and respected, reducing the risk of conflict. Moreover, the impartiality of UNCLOS can help to build trust and confidence among parties to the dispute and promote cooperation, which is essential for resolving disputes in a peaceful and constructive manner. However, using UNCLOS to settle conflicts in the South China Sea has its drawbacks, including the lack of enforcement mechanisms, which undermines the effectiveness of the treaty in resolving conflicts. Countries can choose to ignore or reject the decision of the international tribunal, making the treaty inactive. Additionally, political tension and limited scope are significant challenges. Geopolitical and strategic considerations often drive disputes in the South China Sea, making it difficult to resolve conflicts through legal means. UNCLOS may also fail to address the root causes of conflicts in the South China Sea, which are often motivated by geopolitical and security concerns rather than legal issues. In conclusion, while UNCLOS provides a clear legal framework and promotes multilateralism and impartiality, it has its limitations, including the lack of enforcement mechanisms and limited scope. UNCLOS can be a useful tool in resolving disputes in the South China Sea, but it's essential to address political tensions and root causes of conflicts to ensure a long-term resolution. That's all for my part. Thank you.
My name is Samisi, today DT10652, and I'm going to talk about the areas of improvement of the policy. The several areas of improvement are essential to enhance the maritime geopolitical policies and current maritime policies. One crucial aspect that needs improvement is maritime security. Given that the South China Sea is a richest maritime trade route, it is critical to ensuring its security for global economic stability. By strengthening and enhancing the maritime security, potential security threats can be prevented and deterred. This can be accomplished through an increase in the numbers of patrols and coast guards in the area, which can prevent such incidents such as the collisions, piracies, and other maritime crimes. Another area of improvement pertains to the consistent applications of the principles of UNCLOS by all parties involved in South China Sea dispute. UNCLOS provides a legal framework for the resolutions of maritime disputes. For fair and just settlements, all parties must respect this concept. Therefore, efficient enforcement and dispute resolution processes must be implemented to ensure that all parties abide by UNCLOS rules. Applying UNCLOS consistently can prevent tensions from rising and encourage a peaceful dispute resolution based on the normative international law. As the South China Sea is subject to UNCLOS, which is the primary body of law governing oceans users worldwide, unrest and disagreements have arisen due to some governments' partial non-compliance with the UNCLOS requirements. Thus, the governments of states and international bureaucracies should focus on bolstering the implementations of UNCLOS to enhance the marine's geopolitical policies and present maritime policy. As part of this, government must support the sustainable and peaceful use of the oceans, guarantee freedoms of passage, uphold the rights of coastal states, and settle disputes amicably in line with UNCLOS. Additionally, promoting regional cooperation and trust-building measures among the involved parties can help reduce tensions and facilitate peaceful resolutions of the dispute. And this is the end of the areas of improvement. I pass to the suggestions for betterments towards sustainability. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jiang Xinyi, and I'm going to talk about the suggestion for betterment towards sustainability of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS. First, UNCLOS can enhance the participation of developing countries by providing them with the right to participate in the decision-making process of regional and international organizations that deal with ocean-related issues. Their participation is important to ensure that their perspectives are heard and considered. Besides, UNCLOS can provide technical and financial support, such as transfer of technology input, access to information of scientific and technical knowledge, and also indirect financial support in the form of grants and loans. In addition, UNCLOS could help developing countries to implement sustainable ocean governance practice, such as promote cooperation among states on issues related to marine conservation and fisheries management, to develop best practice and share knowledge and expertise. Next, the impact of climate change on the ocean are one of the greatest challenges facing the world today. UNCLOS could be modified to help address this issue, such as regulating greenhouse gas emissions from shipping by setting a target and propose a range of measures to achieve it. Besides, UNCLOS can regulate activities that impact marine ecosystems, such as require states to ensure that the activities do not cause significant harm to the marine environment. In addition, UNCLOS can encourage scientific research to assess the impacts of climate change on the ocean and its ecosystems in order to provide valuable insights and come up with targeted solutions to problems. Moreover, there are often challenges in enforcing regulations. UNCLOS could strengthen the enforcement of regulations by enhancing monitoring and surveillance of maritime activities to detect and deter violations of its provisions, such as using satellite monitoring to improve surveillance capabilities. UNCLOS could also strengthen penalties for non-compliance with its provisions, including fines, sanctions, and other legal measures. This would help to deter violations and ensure that countries are held accountable for their actions. Moreover, UNCLOS could promote greater public awareness of its provisions and the importance of sustainable ocean governance to build public support for enforcement efforts. In a nutshell, by improving UNCLOS in these areas are essential to promote sustainable use and management of ocean. So that's all from our group. Thank you.